This is TechVibe Radio, your front row seat to Pittsburgh's technology and innovation ecosystem. TechVibe is brought to you by Compunetics at Compunetics.com, Chorus Call at ChorusCall.com, Highmark at Highmark.com, Huntington Bank at Huntington.com, Kindling at thekindlingagency.com, PNC Bank at PNC.com, and Savier at Savier.com. Here are your hosts, Audrey Russo and Jonathan Kirsting of the Pittsburgh Technology Council, coming at you from the Huntington Bank studios. Good morning. Thanks for spending your Sunday here with us on TechVibe Radio. We're always so excited to give you that front row seat to all the great stuff happening here in Pittsburgh's technology ecosystem. You know, Audrey, very exciting. In less than 2 weeks, the 2024 Magee Womens Summit is going to be taking place right here in Pittsburgh. And as you know, this is just a massive event. We're talking more than 1,000 people from around the world coming here to Pittsburgh just to learn and collaborate and dive deep around all things in women's health. And I don't know, we're going to just nerd out on this today because this is so important. We feel like there's so many opportunities here. And how cool is it that Pittsburgh is home to the Magee Womens Research Institute, the MWRI. I'm excited to jump into this today because we have MIchale Annichine, who runs the MWRI, to tell us all about the summit and all the things that are going to be happening with it and how you, our listeners, can attend this really awesome event.
Good morning. How are you guys?
MIchale Annichine, we're glad to have you here. And last time I checked, I mean, you're kind of like leading up the whole Magee Womens Research Institute, which is this institute that last time I checked, and you just confirmed, is the largest women-specific research institute in the world.
Yes, that's correct.
That's so cool.
And what is that based on?
So that's, there's a couple of different measures, one of which is the number of different research studies ongoing at any given point. We currently have 380 faculty and staff covering 292 different conditions in the female body. And we've had over 162,000 participants in our clinical trials over the past 30 years. So we're developing and deploying a significant amount of knowledge that the rest of the world gets to consume.
That's what I'm talking about. And one of the highlight things that you guys do almost every year? It's every year you do this, correct?
It's every other year.
Every other year. I just want to make sure we got that right. But it's the 2024, because it is 2024 for the time being, the Magee Womens Summit, which is bringing people from around the world for this summit to come to Pittsburgh.
That's correct.
Yeah. This is just amazing. And this is happening on 2 weeks from now.
Yeah, November 13th and 14th.
Okay.
At Station Square, the Sheridan Station Square. And we're hoping to have upwards near 1,000 scientists from all over the world. Everybody gets a seat at the table. We're looking at the world around us, the world within us, and the world we form as our three main topics for the Research Summit. And that should encompass all things associated with women's health research, including policy and advocacy, including cutting-edge science, including care delivery. And so we're looking to explore what the future looks like in all three of those areas.
And so will there be some technology focuses?
Yeah, I mean, we're looking at what AI does in medical advancements and how that can accelerate the pace of change. And what we're seeing is that obviously what used to take 4 years to complete now takes several months, right? And so at the end of the day, we're looking at rapidly deploying information in a way that will enable us to not only get it into the clinic faster, but also learn from it and iterate on it more. And technology is allowing us to do that.
So we're living in really transformative times in that regard with the way technology is working out, especially with AI. I've learned about some AI companies that can go through drug discoveries way faster because they can run millions of combinations. And so being able to see that in action now with the legacy of what the Research Institute's been doing, to see how your good work can be accelerated and amplified.
Yeah, we're at a real
cool
value inflection point in healthcare discovery, especially.
And so what do you imagine as some of the most interesting topics?
Well, when we look at the world around us, we talk about some of the environmental factors, some of the things that influence our health every day. When we look at the world within us, we're really talking about things like the microbiome and our internal influences on our healthcare, right? So there's both external and internal influences on that healthcare. And then the world we form really has to do with what we do with the information that we create and how we deploy that into the healthcare delivery system, which we see changing very rapidly. And so what do I expect to see? I expect to see a frontier-style conference where everybody, whether you're coming from a developed country or a developing country, you get a seat at the table. And both developed countries can learn from developing countries, and developing countries can learn from countries with high technology and high resources about how to deploy and deliver healthcare in a more efficient and more effective way. So I really see this as a revolutionary opportunity for women's health.
And so microbiomes, break that down for the common person.
So, it's funny because when we talk about microbiomes, I don't think we understand that we as humans are actually more microbial than we are human. We have millions of microorganisms living within us and on us that actually influence our health. They help us digest food properly. They help us use the resources in that food properly. Without them, we would be very, I don't know what we would be.
We'd be like amoebas or something like that.
We wouldn't be as advanced as we are.
Well, it's interesting you say that because, I see so much out there just in terms of commercials where people are now talking about their gut biome and all that.
And that being the second
gut health
brain.
And being your second brain.
Exactly.
And so, there's a whole universe inside ourselves where there's universes inside those universes that are all very important. And then, of course, how they vary between females and males. That's right. And being able to put that research just on what goes on within females is amazing because historically, people just do research on males and they think that just applies to females, but it does not, right?
It does not.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until 1993 that women were included in clinical trials.
What? Wait.
So, yeah.
That's
you and I
nuts.
were in college back then.
Absolutely. That's like modern. No, it's probably not that modern because we're getting kind of old.
Fairly
Michael,
modern.
But
It's pretty modern.
it's modern. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm a modern man. How about you?
That's it.
Only getting older though. I digress.
Oh.
But I just love the fact that like Pittsburgh is the home base of this, where you're bringing people from around the world to share best practice and take all the stuff that you guys have learned in so many ways and then spread that out to people that couldn't access it as easily.
That's right.
That's just spreading the good. I think as far as I'm concerned.
It is. Yeah.
And so you are the key partner in the summit, right? Are there other partners?
Well, yeah, the other partners would be the UPMC, the healthcare delivery system as well as the health plan,
Nice.
and then the University of Pittsburgh School of Medicine, and they are also a great partner of ours. And without them, we wouldn't be able to do what we do every day. And so it's really interesting that we have this environment here in Pittsburgh that allows this research to continue to grow and to continue to inform the rest of the world about how to advance healthcare in humanity.
And so you can go to MageeWomens.org and you can find out information about the summit.
That's correct.
And attend it, which I think is cool. Like you can,
Anyone can attend this?
Yeah.
Anyone can attend. In fact, we encourage lay people to attend. And it's not so scientific that you won't not only understand the science, but also be involved in the science. This year, what we've done a little bit differently is we've included community members in each of the breakout sessions. So every single session will have a scientific member, a care delivery member, and then a community member, because ultimately it's critically important that we develop solutions with people, not for people. That's how solutions get deployed. That's how they become effective and efficient at getting to the right places within the community. And I think that's sometimes where the healthcare systems of the past have missed the boat. But we're looking to solve that moving forward by having those community members at the table when the discussion begins.
I'm remembering that with people, not for people. That's such a different take. And that's how I think you're going to lead change.
Yeah.
And find things that really work.
And so if people are listening, the definition of a community member is anyone?
Anyone. If you use healthcare to better your life, you can be involved in this summit. We want to know what you think. If you use it a little bit or if you use it a lot, it doesn't matter to us. We want to understand that.
I mean, before we take a break, I would encourage anyone listening out there, if a small tech startup, whatever that may be, attend it. You never know where you could plug into this, right? I mean,
I think it's a great opportunity for
Yeah.
tech startups because ultimately there's a vast network of healthcare providers out there that are looking for solutions, consumer-based solutions, and that's where the tech industry comes in.
right. As you mentioned earlier when we started the segment, I mean, the whole way that technology has advanced, how fast you're able to bring research and turn that into actionable results and so forth. That's why it's like, yeah, you need to come into this thing and see who you intersect with and see where maybe you could plug in and be helpful. So this is amazing stuff. Remind everyone, if you go to MageeWomens.org, you can actually find the link in there in order to go register for the event, which is fantastic. I mean, you're talking about hanging out with 1,000 people from around the world coming here to Pittsburgh.
One more thing, Jonathan. We give away $1 million at this summit.
We're going to talk about that later.
We're going to talk about that later. Okay, don't forget.
We're not forgetting that.
We're not forgetting $1 million. Absolutely. So everyone, keep on listening if you want to learn more about this $1 million prize that's given away at this event, which I'm so excited we're putting a spotlight on this, Audrey, because I think a lot of people just don't know the great stuff that's happening in Pittsburgh right in front of them. And this is our opportunity to let them know that there's some transformative stuff around women's health happening right here in Pittsburgh. This is Jonathan Kirsting.
And this is Audrey Russo.
And we're from the Pittsburgh Tech Council. We're having way too much fun having these conversations because we just love putting these spotlights out there, just showing how awesome Pittsburgh's tech and innovation ecosystem is. Go to pghtech.org and learn more about us, and we'll be right back with that $1 million prize. So hang in there. Every company needs to attract and keep talented people. To do it, you need a strong company story told by those who experience it every day, your employees. So invite your people to be your brand voice and let the Kindling Culture Agency gather and ignite your stories to engage and attract your people. Learn how at sparksomething.big.com. That's sparksomething.big.com. Compunetics is the leading developer of unified voice, video, and data collaboration and conferencing applications for the service provider, government, and unique workflow applications. The Summit Olympus and Evergreen platforms, driven by their encrypted user interfaces, enable powerful and secure collaboration. Combined with world-class support and innovative professional services, Compunetics delivers the right solution every time. Learn more at Compunetics.com. Your dial is set to TechVibe Radio, brought to you by Compunetics, Chorus Call, Highmark, Huntington Bank, Kindling, PNC Bank, and Savier. Here are your hosts, Audrey Russo and Jonathan Kirsting of the Pittsburgh Technology Council, coming at you from the Huntington Bank studios. Welcome back, everybody. I'm so glad you're spending Sunday morning hanging out with me and Audrey here on TechVibe Radio. Talking to Michael Annichine today, leads up the Magee Womens Research Institute. And I'm telling everyone right now, if you're out there, you're building a company, you have an idea for a company, whatever it may be, you got to go over to MageeWomens.org and check out the Magee Womens Summit that's happening on November the 13th and the 14th, because this could be a great place for you to go and get some ideas, meet people, and look at some of the awesome work that's going on that's centered all around female health. And to know that like MWRI is like the largest in the world that does this research and the impact you guys have had, Michael, pretty amazing stuff. And it's in Pittsburgh because, that's what we do here in Pittsburgh. Cool stuff, right? So thanks for sticking around. And Audrey, you brought up the $1 million prize. Well, Michael did, and then you yelled at him. And then we said, we're coming back with that.
We're coming right back.
Because this is a big deal. Yeah, very cool stuff. Yes.
There is a prize.
Summit, so talk about that.
So we're looking for any research anywhere in the world that might not have the opportunity to get to the market without us, right? We're looking to add not only our infrastructure, our expertise, and also our money to these prizes. And we're trying to really accelerate the pace of change in women's health. We know that women's health historically has been underfunded. Even by today's standards, it really only gets anywhere between 11 and 13 cents on the dollar of any...
Sort of like how we get paid.
It's a little better, but not by much.
I won't go there.
Yeah,
don't.
don't.
But I can come back for a different conversation.
Absolutely.
But at the end of the day, if we're going to be underfunded, we better be efficient with that funding, right? And so we're looking to raise the profile of the entire field by looking for opportunities to invest in research that maybe doesn't have the same opportunity that our research has coming through the UPMC system.
No, it is just really exciting. I just cannot amplify enough what Jonathan mentioned, the fact that you've opened this to the community, right? An opportunity to hear from researchers, practitioners, et cetera, across the field, best practices, some of the, the gaps, but the opportunities for people to hear where the synergy might be in terms of if you're a startup and you want to understand what's happening in healthcare, you're interested in women's health, you want to know what's happening in our backyard, this is an opportunity for you to be there and listen to what's happening all around the world. So I find that just, we don't celebrate it enough. So I really appreciate you coming on the show and talking about this.
Good work.
This is
I appreciate
really
you
good work.
having me. Yeah.
This is really good work. So what are some of the other biggest opportunities? You talked about a few things before. What are some of the biggest opportunities in terms of
opportunities?
research?
It's interesting. We currently have a breast cancer vaccine in clinical trial right now at Magee Womens Hospital.
What?
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and we're working on a therapeutic for ovarian cancer that will change the way we treat these diseases
in our lifetime.
That's pretty amazing.
That be
yeah. And these are,
cured.
we're looking at these opportunities. We always speak carefully about kind of research
Absolutely.
coming through the pipeline,
Right.
but it wouldn't have gotten to this point if we weren't ecstatic about it. And it continues to pick up speed, and we continue to enroll women in these clinical trials. And we hope that, within the next 10 years, and what we've seen in the last 10 years has been tremendous change in not only survival rates for breast cancer, but also in the way we treat the disease.
Yeah.
Much less invasively, much better for the human associated with that disease, right? Imagine what we can do in the next 10 years.
Yeah.
Imagine how much better we can make this journey, a journey that nobody wants to go on. Right? And that's just one. Breast cancer is just one.
Right.
We've got 37 distinct labs at Magee. We cover everything from pregnancy and early human development all the way through diseases of aging like cancer, heart disease, pelvic floor issues.
You run the whole spectrum of a woman's life,
everything
right?
in between, all the benign gynecology, all the fertility, all the infectious disease. So anything that impacts a woman throughout her lifespan. Oftentimes we think about women's health as just OBGYN, just reproductive biology, but it's so much more.
Heart stuff's totally
stuff,
different.
right.
And
One
everything.
in 8 women will have cancer. 1 in 3 women will have heart disease, right?
Yeah.
But we often don't talk about that and what that impact is on women, because many of the studies in heart health were really done around men because of the immense kind of publicity and symptoms that we understand to be male symptoms versus symptoms that are female symptoms are much less intense. And
So you get dismissed sometimes, right? And it's like, that's not the symptoms for it. You're fine. And you go home and have a heart attack and terrible things happen. So
the outcomes are just as intense. It's just the symptoms aren't.
Wow, I love that you're shining light on this, and it gives me some optimism.
Totally.
To think that maybe in our lifetime, ovarian cancer could be cured.
I mean, I get excited because we were talking earlier about how technology is helping you make discoveries faster. We're using like AI in order to run multiple scenarios and things like that. How that's going to play into being able to find, a cure for this faster or find a vaccine faster and everything like that. So it's got to be so much fun as being part of this and kind of seeing some of this before we get to see it.
I'm telling you,
you got every day you're probably coming to work being like, my God, like this is too much fun.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
I get to support the most brilliant people in the world who truly care about the problems they're trying to solve, for people they don't know yet. All right.
Exactly,
They're not only working on today's toughest challenges, they're working on tomorrow's as well. And so these are people that I admire and I get to come to work and support every day.
And so I say to myself, after hearing all this, I'm like, if you're out there, why would you not go to this and see where there's an opportunity?
I'm going to put it on my calendar.
Yeah.
Good. Excellent.
This is amazing.
And I would say to the entrepreneurs out there, come participate. I mean, last summit, we had 20 plus grants that were submitted through collaborations that happened at the summit. There's white papers written. There's business opportunities created. There's really an opportunity to exchange information in such a way that you could benefit from this.
I love it. Thank you for your leadership.
Yeah.
Thank
you're
you
very welcome.
for the work, and we're going to make sure they have a great experience being in Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
Yes, we are.
Those that come up from out of
Yeah,
town.
we get excited because sometimes it's a person's first time into Pittsburgh and they get to really learn what the city's about. And they can see that, yeah, Pittsburgh's home to things like the Magee Womens Research Institute, along with thousands of cool tech companies and healthcare companies that are just really driving the future around the world. So, Michael, thanks for hanging out with us today.
you.
We're
Thanks
pumped
for
up.
having me.
I'm giving the website one more time because I'm really encouraging everyone out there listening. You got to check it out. Go to MageeWomens.org and, of course, look for the 2024 Magee Womens Summit. Every 2 years, you guys are putting this thing on. There's $1 million prize on top of everything else. RK Mellon funds that, which they do some amazing work when it comes to making that stuff happen. That's the type of money that really makes impact to me.
Yes, it does.
And I'm like, great stuff. So thanks for hanging out with us, Michael. You're the best.
Thank you.
Audrey, whew.
was
Good
great.
Lord, man, there's too much going on in Pittsburgh. And you know,
This
we
is
only
really
have
cool
22
stuff.
minutes every Sunday to cover it. I'm feeling a little shortchanged at this point in time, but we'll take what we got at this point. And so just remind our listeners, every Sunday we're on air. And of course, anytime you want your fix of TechVibe, just go to where you get your favorite podcast, look for TechVibe, and we will be there with tons and tons of fun interviews. So good stuff. This is Jonathan Kirsting.
And this is Audrey Russo.
Go to pghtech.org and check out all the ways the Tech Council can help your tech company succeed. Have a great rest of your Sunday, everybody. Compunetics is the leading developer of unified voice, video, and data collaboration and conferencing applications for the service provider, government, and unique workflow applications. The Summit Olympus and Evergreen platforms, driven by their encrypted user interfaces, enable powerful and secure collaboration. Combined with world-class support and innovative professional services, Compunetics delivers the right solution every time. Learn more at compunetics.com. Thanks for geeking out with us on TechVibe Radio. Tune in next Sunday for more tech and innovation stories right here from Pittsburgh. TechVibe is brought to you by Compunetics at compunetics.com, Chorus Call at choruscall.com, Highmark at highmark.com, Huntington Bank at huntington.com, Kindling at thekindlingagency.com, PNC Bank at pnc.com, and Savier at savier.com. And we're always coming at you from the Huntington Bank Studios.